Hey everybody, I know one of the biggest questions when people decide whether they're going to tackle podcasting at all is whether they can produce it in-house, like through a volunteer or a church staff member, or do they want to trust a professional company like His Productions? Here's a couple of things I want to encourage you to consider. So this is kind of a ministry thing altogether. I think one of the most important things that you need to do is you need to count the cost. Right? You need to think about how much time is it going to take me to edit and produce this podcast, then distribute it out to Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube Music. Time is the most valuable resource that we have. You've already invested the time in actually thinking up, dreaming up the content for the podcast, recording that podcast, maybe in video form, maybe just in audio form. So stop and ask yourself, do I have time to do this? Secondly, while there's a ton of different great tools out there to help you with not only video production and audio production, the next question is, do I actually have the skill set, the experience to be able to produce a video podcast or an audio podcast that stands out? Okay, we all know there are thousands and thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of podcasts out there in the world. Do you have the time and the experience to produce something that stands out, that sounds, looks absolutely beautiful? It's tough. In the podcast world, you're out there in a sea of information, and there's so many podcasts out there that you've got to have something that kind of makes you stand out a little bit. And if you have poor audio quality or you have poor video quality, it's going to do the exact opposite of what you're hoping for. The last thing I want to encourage you, and this is something to consider particularly for church staff, you have to think about how many hats is your staff currently already wearing. I work at a church, right? I'm a worship arts pastor at a church. I've been in the church world working at a church for over 24, 25 years. I get it. We all need to be very, very capable to do a lot of different things in the church. Generally never just do one thing. But one of the things we say here at His Productions, particularly with church staff, is you can be mediocre in 10 areas, or you can be awesome in 5 areas. Podcast production is one of those things, right? If you've got a worship arts person like me who's leading worship, who's shepherding, hopefully, a worship team, creating set lists, praying with people, getting good at their craft as a singer or a guitar player, production of a podcast on top of those responsibilities might make them sort of mid in all those areas rather than just being a really capable worship arts pastor. That's where we really want you to focus. Now, if you've got a part-time person at your church who needs to fill some more hours, and maybe they're technically capable, they have the time, then in-house production might be the right choice. I could tell you in 25 years of doing this, it's very, very rare, except in really large churches that have full creative and production departments, for churches to successfully produce radio, TV, or podcasts and do it well. And again, it's for the 3 reasons that I said. Most people don't really account for the amount of time it takes to produce a podcast. Secondly, they don't have the actual expertise or the experience to produce it. Third, they already got too much stuff on their plate, which goes back to my first point about time. They already have too much stuff on their plate. Every time we say yes to something, we're saying no to something else. At His Productions, we would encourage you to think about telling the story of Jesus in a beautiful way through the vision and calling that God's given you, and then entrust that production and even distribution to professionals like us here at His Productions. We're here to serve you. We're here to help you. We're here to help you find the gear you need, even to film or to do the audio side of podcasting. So we want you to make the best choice, whether that's in-house or trusting professionals. We want God's best for you and your church, what's going to work best, what's going to make you bear the most fruit for God's kingdom, whatever that looks like. Reach out if you have any questions.